Do you struggle with something that I call the stripper's lean? If so, here's a quick tip and things that you need to do to prevent this from happening. This is a common fault that I see amongst lifters, and it's what I call the infamous stripper's lean. So what happens through that first phase of the lift is that the hips shoot faster than the shoulders. The issue that we have with the stripper's lean is that it pulls you forwards and takes you off balance, making it harder for when you lift heavier lifts. This usually comes down to three things: poor setup, lack of awareness, or positional strength. But don't worry, this video, we're gonna fix it. The first thing I'm gonna talk about is the setup for the clean. So the first thing that we wanna try and think about is setting up a relative 45-degree angle from my hip to shoulder. I wanna bring that bar close to my shin, so it's gonna brush my shin, and the weight stays through the center of the foot. Now, as we begin the lift, we need to make sure that we take the slack out of the bar. The slack is that shaky noise that you can hear when I start pulling on that bar. So I pull the bar to the top of the plate, thinking about pushing my chest out, squeezing my lats to make sure my back is engaged. As I start the pull, the angle from hip to shoulder is going to stay the same until I get to my knee position. The angle needs to stay the same from the floor through to the end of the first pull. One thing I like to tell my lifters is to think of the movement as a push, not a pull. I'm not thinking about pulling the bar off the floor. Instead, I'm going to think about pushing the floor away with my feet to make sure I can still maintain my angle.
To improve body awareness during the first pull and build positional strength, there are a number of things that we could look at doing.
So you could look at doing tempo clean pulls, slow eccentrics, and even pause deadlifts. My go-to is a floating clean deadlift, and that's what I'm going to show you today. So a floating clean deadlift is basically a rep that won't be touching the floor once we've started our set. The reason why I like this, it reinforces us to push through the center of the foot. So as I set up here, think about that strong start position. As I drive up, I'm going to come into my power position before I use a slow eccentric on the way back down. I won't be touching the floor. I'm going to keep it an inch off the floor before I start my next set. This makes sure that we can overload the tension through our back and reinforce that strong start position that we're looking to carry over in our main cleans. Start following these tips to fix your setup, control your pull, and prevent the stripper's lean. Save that for the weekend. And subscribe to my YouTube channel for more tips and tricks just like this to improve your Olympic lifting skills.